So just a quick update on my tanks in a little bit. As you can see, there's plenty of algae. The pump's all still working, no problems. Very much new growth. As you can see, that finger that it's stuck onto, that Monty, that's all new growth. And it has new growth. It has 3 points of contact with new growth. This is sprouting out new heads even underneath. So everything's going and rocking and rolling. I mean, phosphates are at 11. I just tested everything. Everything's pretty spot on. I know that there are phosphates in here. I'm just trying to battle with the algae. So this weekend I'm gonna do another sweep out of all the algae. We'll turn off all the pumps, clean everything out, try to get out as much as possible, and then go from there. Before I go into the fish room, I forgot. Got a new little fishy. He's not new. He came out from the 32 from the big Clarkie because he was beating up on him. And I thought he'd be a nice little addition to this guy because I had another fish and his carcass is no longer there, which is a good thing. But he died. Found him without a tail. He was kind of laying around. But this guy's done perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever. He's a Bartlett Anthias. I really enjoy, I know you can't really see it right now, but on this back wall when I have these doors open, not open, but have the light coming in, all of these fish that are moving in here that you can see, it'll reflect onto this wall. You can see the reflection of the light. So it'll reflect over here and you can see all the little fish moving on my wall. It's pretty stellar. Everything in the 125 is doing amazing. I've got some pieces that need to be moved and whatnot, but even at the bottom down here, nothing's dying. Everything's doing great. I removed a huge portion of this leather and a huge portion of the leather that was back there on the rock. Real quick, I'll take you over. There they are. Takes up quite a big portion, but these are tiny compared to what they look like in the big tank because the green leather was probably all the way up to here and the other one was all the way over there. So I really need to get rid of them, trying to kind of free up a little bit of room for flow. Everything is growing so well, so quickly. My parameters are keeping on pretty well on point. I'm not having too much of a problem with anything across my fingers at the moment. Like I said, I can't say that. This guy right there is kind of needs to be moved. He is growing, but he's starting to really bleach out and kind of be patchy, if you can see. This guy sprouting out some new tips. The guy in the back has some new little bright blue polyps in the middle. This dude's starting to spread out on his frag plug. You can see all of the new growth on this Monty. It's looking really nice. This guy is already completely covered his frag plug. He's just starting to go out. My rainbow acan, even on the very bottom, has babies all around it, so it'll start to look like a head like that. Scully's doing fine, not receding or anything weird. This Monty back here, that same Monty right there, is the exact same thing. The same piece broken off of the exact same coral as this guy. Do you see how light this is and how neon fluorescent it is? It's unreal. I can actually change my lights on this now. If you give me just a second. You can see how light it is. Like, it is unreal how different it is from that to this one right over here. that one's super dark. It's unreal. Everything else has been doing really well. This leprechaun chalice, or not leprechaun, man, I forgot its name, brain fart, but it's throwing some really new growth that's really good. Everything has been growing on here, even the Oregon Tort. You can see the home wrecker is already starting to spread out onto its frag plug. It was a brand new cutting. You could see all the silicone around the bottom, and it's already touched the frag plug, and I haven't had it over 2 weeks. The Thunderstruck is already taller. It has 2 stems, and it was smaller, if not the same size as the home wrecker frag with the 2 heads, and it's already taller. So it's doing really good. I don't know what the name of this guy is, but he's doing really well. He's spreading out just fine. The Optimus Prime, you know, I was so excited about this coral, and I still am, but everything else is looking so good and doing so well. It's just, I'm hoping for this guy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. His polyps are fully extended. He's just not colorful. He is growing. He's new. He has some new sprouts that he's putting up over there, but he's not coloring up whatsoever. This Pink Floyd is starting to do a little something weird right there, but you can see how much new growth, well, you can't now, is on that Pink Floyd. It's, since I've only had it for a very short time, how much it's spread out onto the frag plug. PC Rainbow's looking amazing. Pikachu's growing really well. It's getting pretty tall. The Walt Disney is really starting to show his blue colors. Starting to turn. Highlighter doing just fine. Sprouting out another new head over there. Everything's just doing great, man. I cannot complain. I did a little bit of a remodel of the fish room, so I have this whole little area for testing. Removed all of this. I'm going to turn this into a terrarium with a do-it-yourself background with a drip wall in the back and kind of like a canopy bonsai tree from this corner down to over to this one. So open area, bonsai tree kind of feel with driftwood and then like a canopy. You know, I have a dream. These guys are doing really well. They're really starting to color up. I'm starting to use the new calcium. I can't say anything bad about the other one, but they're really starting to show their different colors because they're not all the same frogs. I mean, they're the same frog species, but they're not all from the same families. So each family has their own generations. Like, I can't tell you off the top of my head, I'd have to really look at them. But like this guy, he's a lot darker than this guy. This guy's really light red compared to him. The guy in the back is still pretty small, so he's pretty dark, but I really like that they're really starting to color up a little bit more. I rescaped this guy, but no big problems. I was just trying to get more a hold of taking care of him. This tank's doing just fine. I'm starting to dose a little bit, and you can see the plants are growing. Except for this guy, he's getting eaten up on by the snails and other different things. But these guys are starting to bed in, starting to make a real good row. And that's all new growth. And this guy is starting to put out some new shoots, or was. But yeah, I was just updating my 125.